Hey, it's Raquel. Welcome back to Recovery to Wellness. This is where survivors radiate badassery. It is currently Juneteenth, so it is currently June 19th, 2026. There was a piece of dust floating on you. And I am filming a video. So I am going to be filming a video called Raqovery Glimmers, and recovery being RAQ for my name, because my name is Raquel. And we're on Recovery to Wellness, so it's a whole, it all kind of comes together. So I'm going to just share some of my more recent recovery glimmers, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about glimmers and such too. It's something that I learned the last time I was in the psych hospital as a group. Talk about them a little bit, share some of what mine have been in the last month or so, and then you can share your glimmers in the comments, and we can just have like a glimmer party in a sense. We'll be all sparkling and glimmering, and it'll be great. So that's pretty much what this video is going to be about. And okay, so glimmers are, I got this, again, it was a group that I went to, so there's like this glimmer log where you can like track your glimmers and all of that. And there was this kind of introduction of glimmers. I took notes and such on it as well. I don't think there's anything identifying on it. And then it was also trying out and then some words and such on that. Glimmers are the opposite of triggers. They're tiny moments of awe and spark joy and calm. They're not toxic positivity. They don't erase pain or problems, and they can be very small. So like having like a warm cup of hot cocoa on a cold day, or seeing the sun kind of going through the autumn leaves during the fall. And it's just a process of being small things. Can be sunlight on your skin, you know, feeling the warmth of, you know, the sun on black pants, let's say, or having, you know, finding, at least for me, finding like different kinds of jumping spiders, and they're very smart, they're very intelligent. And I actually even wrote down one of them from Beatrice, which was one that I found. I took a picture of her, and she was a jumping spooder on the bench at the psych hospital, and she was fascinating. I loved watching her. Because like jumping spooters are they're kind of like cats, because you can actually, like, if you have like a laser pointer, they can actually follow it like a cat does, and they're like kind of like the doggos of the spooter world. And I find spooters far more friendly and like nice and cute of a term than spider. Spider sounds scary, but spooter is cute, and jumping spooters are very intelligent. So they're very interesting, and I've been finding more and more jumping spooters. Like, it's really, like, honestly, we'll get into this, but like genuinely, like one of my favorite subreddits is like the jumping spooter subreddit, the regular spooter subreddit, and also like the what bug is this, and like people like taking pictures of bugs and then like them sharing it on Reddit, and then people be, like saying the general locale where they are, like, you know, Washington DC or whatever kind of thing, and people being like, oh, it's this kind of bug and such. And like I like going into like seeing the image, and then like, oh, I think it's this thing, and then I click on it, and then I'm right, and I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, that's like a satisfaction of like just like little things. So like just like somebody had on the jumping spooter subreddit, somebody had a spooter that was like living inside of their like a like can, you know, not a can, but like a straw cup of like Sprite or something that they left out, and then there was a little spooter hiding in the straw, and jumping spooter is just really cute. So Beatrice was one of the jumping spooters. Henry, I filmed in the last week, I filmed on my cell phone Henry, who's a jumping spooter, inside my window, and he was really, really cool. I think it's Henry, could be Henrietta, not entirely sure. So if it is Henrietta, that's she, her pronouns, but Henry for now, referring to him as Henry. I don't know. I'm not good at gender identifying yet of bugs, but we're gonna work on it. And so that was like a 45-minute, like I filmed him, took pictures of him for like 30 minutes trying to figure out what kind of spooter he was. Didn't figure it out, by the way. and all of that. So like, again, glimmers. Glimmers are, again, you know, just small tiny moments, probably even like hygge moments, like hygge being Hygge, which is the Danish word for, you know, warmth and togetherness and coziness and all of that. And so again, and also this other thing that I want to mention is how they can be very small, and it's the nervous system learns through repetition of noticing. So having like a glimmer log where you notice the things that are little glimmers and such, and little moments of satisfaction, and like little moments of like life is beautiful and amazing, which can be really hard because sometimes dealing with mental health can get lost in the darkness of it. And the darkness is certainly there. Like, it's definitely something that is there. Luckily, life is a combination of both existing at the same time, and so when life gets really dark, it also gets really bright and such too, and both opposing ideas can exist in the same space. So kind of like, even if it is like a really, really dark night in a sense, maybe that's a good night to be able to see the stars. I like that quote a lot, but without the darkness, we'd never see the stars, and that's a pretty cool one. I also really like the quote, I saw it recently. Again, it's from C.S. Lewis. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. I really like that one a lot too. So even like positive quotes and such could be a glimmer as well. I also really liked the one by Dieter F. Uchtdorf, who is a problematic Mormon, I guess, or a problematic religious person, but he had the one, I think it's like, life is not about, ah shit, I don't remember it. Crap. But it's like, he had a really good quote that I liked a lot. It's gonna bother me. Side quest. Yes. So it is your reaction to adversity, not the adversity itself, that determines how your life story will develop. So that was from Dieter F. Uchtdorf. I always really liked that quote too. Glimmers can be quotes, I imagine, like sayings and quotes and things that provide like warmth and feeling seen and heard and understood. Other examples of glimmers that I wrote when I was in the hospital was like a cup of coffee, reading a book in sunlight, book nooks, I have a review of that, visiting the library for sure, writing fan fiction, finishing reading a book, meeting new bugs, smoke stewing up, chocolate ice cream, all of that. So I think you get the gist of it. Some of my own recovery glimmers as of late. So in the last month, I think the last month is a pretty good chunk of time. Like, so for instance, I'm a huge introvert. If you haven't already figured that out, I'm a huge introvert. And so I learn a lot by, you know, kind of like sitting back and observing, for like observe a scene or observe a situation that's unfolding. So, rewind. My mom and I went out, we had some ice cream, we were eating outside, and there was a Rotary that we were at, and watching like the cars in a Rotary is just really fascinating to me, because it's like, driving is also a lot of like patterns, is like identifying patterns and then noticing the pattern, and then also banking on the fact that other people are not going to respond appropriately to the pattern. Because some people are like, oh, I'll just like I'll be on the right side lane, and instead of leaving it to the exit that I'm supposed to, because it's only a right turn only, going all the way around. I find like watching, like learning patterns, like if there's like an intersection that's like really kind of chaotic, like my idea of a fun time would be to like sit outside, like probably have a book and a chair and like a coffee, and like watch the intersection and how it works and functions, and then, you know, observe it and such. Definitely YouTube. Coming back to YouTube and working on editing videos, uploading videos, getting a really warm and, you know, satisfying and encouraging response, and filming more videos. Another recovery glimmer is the fact that I upgraded to the tripod. We got a new tripod now, so that's exciting. And just like going back to YouTube and like getting like encouragement from people, and like getting a good response from people, and I guess maybe good response is a bit of an opinion, but like having like kind of like just an encouragement. Like I've been feeling very encouraged and very seen, and that's gonna also go into a boundaries video that I'm gonna talk about probably today. I'm gonna film a shit ton of videos today. And also just doing that as well too, like that's a recovery glimmer as well, as like, you know, getting back into filming videos, getting back into editing videos, getting back into uploading videos. I really especially like uploading videos Fridays at 15:45. That's like a really cool, like I really like that a lot. Also, military time. I've gotten really into military time the last year. I like only speak in military time. Like, and it's just, I genuinely find it as like a recovery glimmer, because like it's so funny when I say it out loud, and then whoever I'm talking to has that like few minutes of like them trying to figure out and like decode what time I'm talking about, is like hilarious, and just like that just brings me joy. Like it's just like I just love watching the like 15, you know, at 1500, the like is that 2? And I'm like, no, it's 3. And like having to like, when people like my mom will tell me like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this at 4. And I'm like, you mean 16? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But it's like just funny and stuff. Like it's just really, really kind of funny. And then it's funny too because like at work, like the patients will like go by like, you know, regular Americanized time, which I'm American too, but still. But like the patients will go by that. So I have to be like, oh, this group, you know, art group says at 14:30, but I have to be like, wait, 2:30, and it takes like a little while, but I think talking military time is fun. It makes more sense. It's just a lot more cohesive and makes more sense. It's concise. It's short. It's simple. It's done. But yeah, I only go by military time, so that's been a fun glimmer. Another glimmer from a few years ago when I first started working as a group leader at work was like having like the accidental color coding of staff members. So like there was one day I think that I wore like a shade of purple and everybody else wore like a shade of purple. We like didn't, you know, deliberately color code, but like little things like that is like really like exciting and stuff. Learning other bugs and like identifying bugs is really fun for me. Like I really got into bugs in the last year, and like I really like taking pictures of the bugs and then the phone like telling me what kind of bug it is and like identifying what kind of bug it is. For like a lot of like the jumping spooters, like Henry was, or another jumping spooter was getting like misidentified a couple times, so it's not fully reliable, but it's still interesting to like do that and such. And like again, Henry was like a big, you know, distraction for like 45 minutes of my time, and it was really, really cool, and I got to see him. He was like in between, he was behind the glass but in front of the screen, and he was in this little crack, and he was just hiding around and just chilling out and such. I got like, a bunch of video and such of him. Glimmers, Raqovery Glimmers, just like warm days, like warm summer days. I think like there was a couple times at program I was like sitting outside and stuff and like being in the sun and like sometimes too fucking hot, but like overall like summer sunshine and like reading outside for a bit or picking up a new book. I haven't like done a lot of new reading lately, but I'm planning to this weekend. I started a new book called, I think it's called Gardening for Mind, Body, and Soul. And it's pretty interesting. It's really, really cool. I really like it a lot already. It has lots of illustrations and pictures and such in it. I also borrowed another book, that one, Flower Energy, that I'm hoping to read, and then I have to like figure out a bunch more books to read and such too. Speaking of libraries in general, as I mentioned earlier from my April hospitalization, like visiting the library is definitely a glimmer. Like going to different libraries, learning different staff's names, and like just experiencing a different library and such is like really, really fun. One of the libraries I go to has a fish tank, which is really cool, and I really want to do like library like filming content, but I don't know all like the logistics of how or if or should I or could I or would I or all of that. But I really like visiting libraries. I want to visit like every single library in Massachusetts. It's like every public library in Massachusetts, but that is a future bucket list goal. Other glimmers include, honestly, going to a Pride event this year was nice, and being around that, and that was fun, and seeing some like vendors and such that I saw the last couple of times I was there, so that was cool, and smelling really nice candles. I just did a haul video of me talking about some of the candles that I got, and they're really nice. I can actually see one over here. I have the Champagne Toast Bath & Body Works like glimmer, I think it's like a shimmer spray, like a shimmer perfume. And I found that inside my closet the other day because last Sunday I fully took it upon myself to just completely like reorganize, declutter. I have all of this decluttering stuff that I'm going to be donating to program next week. And I could have done it this week, but I just like didn't get around to it. So I'm going to go declutter at work at program and get that stuff done. But I like went through my whole bedroom, got like revamped and like reorganized and tidied and like fixed up, and like I actually worked on my other bookshelf over there, reorganized how that looks. That was really, really good. I just like listen to music or podcast stuff like all day while I was doing it, and that's something I've been avoiding for a while. New music, also like a big one, which might not sound exactly like a Raqovery glimmer, but I think probably is one, is that when I was dealing with other like crises and such that was happening in the last couple of weeks, I was able to like maneuver through them in a healthy way. Not like the one that I'm really thinking of is like when my so my iPod Touch, I have an iPod Touch. I bought it back in like July 2020, and Apple discontinued the iPod Touch in like spring 2022. And so I had been noticing my iPod was kind of looking a little different, and I really thought the case was bending. So last Thursday, not yesterday, but the Thursday before, I took my iPod out of the case, and then I came to discover that the screen was lifting, and when I googled it, it was like, that's gonna blow! It's gonna fucking explode! And I'm like, what? And it was like a crisis that I'm like, bro, like I really don't have like the emotional bandwidth to like deal with this on top of everything else. And then it was kind of like a process of like Googling a lot and trying to figure out, okay, like, because I got a new phone, and again, my new phone, another Glimmer, Raqovery Glimmers, the bookshop case. And I got a new phone, and when I got a new phone, the music files didn't transfer over, and then I learned from Googling that like music files don't transfer from one phone or one device to the next, and so you have to like get like another, like you have to pretty much get a software, like download a software, or as I had to do, buy a different software to like move files from one device to another, or one location to another. So that was really fucking annoying, and I did wind up doing it though. I got it done, and I was able to like move everything that was on my iPod Touch onto my new phone, and like start working on connecting the new phone to my car's USB and that kind of thing. And that was interesting because I never really, because before I would just plug in my iPod into my car using a USB, and then it would play music and stuff, and I would just have my phone doing GPS stuff. But then with my iPod, so eventually we went to the shop about it, decided to replace the battery, do that whole thing. So I'm gonna get my iPod Touch back, so I'll still have one, which is cool, and I'll just kind of do a mix between the two, pretty much. It's been really weird because I've had it for 6 years, and I've been like putting my phone in my pocket and then being like, where's my iPod? And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, it's not with me. So if it explodes, it explodes with them. So that's better than me. But I had like 2 points with that. I had 2 points with that, but I'm so used to, so now with my phone, you know, when my phone is doing GPS stuff, when it's in the car, like the music goes, and then it kind of like goes to, you know, like fades a little bit as it talks and such. But the point of saying that too is that, that I was handling a crisis that I would not have willingly signed up for, but I managed through it, and I dealt with it, and I overcame it, and that was really, really good. And I actually had a really, really productive weekend last weekend, because again, I wound up reorganizing my room the next day, and I dropped off my old phone, you know, to the shop and stuff to trade it in, and then dealt with my iPod stuff and got that all set, and now all the music's on there on my phone now, and just like streamlining things and making processes easier and more compact. Tripod that I'm going to be getting rid of, and then I also like eventually I'm going to get rid of another cord that is like the wires are fraying and such, so it's not good, which can also be dangerous and such too. So I think that was also a big recovery glimmer, was like going through like kind of crappy situations but still coming out on the other side. I also have behind you is a bookstore themed Wallflower plug, totally not sponsored, from Bath and Body Works, and I actually had the fragrance, it was in my turtle one over there, and I didn't realize how much that wasn't working, so I on Sunday I moved it from over there to my bookstore one, and now it's been smelling like pumpkin spice all fucking week, which is badass and awesome. And so that's been a recovery glimmer as well, because it's like really realizing that it wasn't working over there for like the year that it was there, but now it's working at my other Wallflower plug, and it's really cool. I did at work on last Friday was that I consolidated my desk at work into one main bin, and then I maneuvered other things that was inside, and you know, just decluttered. And when I was doing that, I wound up identifying another couple folders, sort of accordion folders, and putting my art stuff in there, some of my art stuff in there, like art that I've made. And did that, came across my other kinds of art stuff, which I want to film this stuff in a video. That's a Raqovery Glimmer, getting that stuff kind of settled and organized. I also worked on, over the weekend, I got a folder going of all my sticker collages and working on that. Speaking of, on Monday I did some new sticker collages and other Raqovery Glimmers. I think if we even go back a little bit more, I took a shower on Tuesday. I went to a book club. I went to all my events that I wanted to go to in the last week, which was really important to me. So I got to do that. I went to the book club, got that. Didn't read the book. We're gonna read the book still, but like didn't read it, but went to it anyway, and that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. Went to meet up with B, who's a moderator on subreddit, a couple subreddits that I'm on. So that was really cool. I got to meet her for the first time in person, which was really awesome. And then I also I didn't get to go to the library as much this week, but it was still okay. You know, the times I went, it was good. I edited a video that's going up today, which I'm excited about. I also been having like my Marie calendars. I believe that's how you pronounce it. They're like TV dinner kind of things, but I've been having like the beef and broccoli bowl ones that are really, really good, and those have been really nice. So I'm probably gonna like, honestly, I might make one right now because I'm getting pretty hungry, to be honest. It's time for a snack. Also, Raqovery Glimmer is water. I know like plastic water bottles are not good for the environment, so apologies on that front, but definitely having like drinking water is really important and something that I enjoy. And this one's nice and cold. Another Raqovery Glimmer is finding some old stationery. I have like this guy. This is some stationery. I filled out this for the week. This week. So that was fun. I've been like checking stuff off. So I think that's where I'll close out the video. So if you have any Raqovery Glimmers, any things that are recovery joys or recovery wins for you that have been happening in the last month, let's say, and then any Raqovery Glimmers you have looking forwards in time. I was just talking to my mom last weekend about how I want to do kayaking for like the first time ever, and I've been wanting to do it for the last 4 years and I've been saying it. And my mom was telling me that she has a friend that actually has some kayaks. So I think my goal for the summer is to take like a kayaking like safety class kind of thing real quick and then go kayaking a few times, maybe like 2 to 5 times or something, because I'll find out if I like it or not. But I'm pretty excited about that. I've also been like encouraged more to like do more exercise and such too, so that's also something that I'm looking forward to. And other Raqovery Glimmers, definitely like looking forward to like finish reading more books and like reviewing them and streamlining that process more, so that I'm not just, you know, having tons of books that are overdue, that are accruing fines or getting paid for or getting charged for the price of them. But let me know what your Raqovery Glimmers are, any recovery joys you've been having the last month, any things that you think might be coming up soon in a sense. I have other videos. So many videos, and as always, stay safe. Much love and light to you. I'll see you in another upload, and thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing as well as commenting. I really enjoy having a discussion with folks. It's really a big, prominent focus for me, at least. And yeah, I hope you find your Raqovery Glimmers out there. They are out there. You just gotta like kind of squint sometimes and, you know, kind of like turn them around a little bit and then see, okay, yeah, actually that's pretty fucking awesome. So, alright, thank you so much. Bye!
Guiding like a lighthouse to I will leave the light on.